I'm Everton Parkinson. I'm president and co-founder of Everton Organics, Inc. My major is community and environmental planning, and this is my associates.
I'm Sean Whittier, business analytics major.
I'm Alexander Asbury in political science. Ian Marshall, mechanical engineering.
And the great thing about our team is we all come from different backgrounds and bring something different to the table. So the need and how it started, it all started in a lecture dating back to freshman year when I was in natural resources, and it was about how the Soviet Union fell and Cuba was left with the problem of they didn't have any more fertilizer being imported into their country. And with the U.S. trade embargo, they could also not import it from the U.S. So they needed to make it all internally. So they started making compost as a nation, and then they started processing it with worms. And essentially, it's called worm castings, but essentially the excrement of worms. And the need for us was to create a sustainable product to bring to customers that's chemical-free, and it's just great or better than conventional fertilizer. So our product is all-purpose. You can use it on your lawn, you can use it in potted plants, you can use it in your garden. It's rich in essential nutrients for plants. It's odorless and non-toxic. It's safe for pets, kids, and it's also sustainable and renewable as it is made from waste. So the ingredients of our fertilizer comes from renewable resources such as I said, comes from land plots and pastures and stuff. We have three main sources in New Hampshire and Vermont. These are organic certified because we improved it through the soil testing, and that hasn't had any conventional fertilizer or pesticides or herbicides or anything like that. And these are on a bi-weekly, sometimes monthly or annual schedule to pick up all these ingredients. So this was a study we conducted ourselves because we have met with a potential customer. We met with Whole Foods last summer, and they expressed a great interest in our product. And this was actually stumbled upon this by accident because we were actually asking them what they did with their waste. We're trying to get it into our compost. They wanted to meet with us, so we wanted to conduct an experiment to show how good our fertilizer compared to Miracle-Gro, actually. And this was a 21-day experiment, and they both were in controlled environments with the same amount of water and the same light. And as you can see, our product's on the left, and it has greater growth with the stem, more leaves than Miracle-Gro had. And we actually did have our product tested by UNH Cooperative Extension, and it showed that it was great and nutritious for the plants. So this is the process. It's kind of hard to see, but this is inside one of our worm bins. We have switched over to a continuous flow system so we can always be harvesting. First, as I said, we collect all our materials, and then we do a 14-day hot pile compost where they get nice and steamy, get the anaerobic bacteria to break down the compost. And then we process it with machinery, and Ian can talk to you a little bit about that.
So after it's in the hot pile, we put it through a grist mill, and this grinds it up a little bit, and we let the worms eat it from there. After they're done with that, we put it in a trommel. It kind of filters out any debris left over. And right now, this process is kind of tedious. It's mostly done by hand, so we're kind of in the process of working on making this automated with machinery and kind of figure it out, make it as efficient as possible and eliminate any bottlenecks from the process.
The machinery also helps make a more unified product with no worms left behind or debris that they didn't eat. And we also are seeking a process patent because there are things that we do that I've researched all of the companies and different processes that people do at home, and I have not found any other way that they do it like us, because we do shave off months of time that it would be compared to just having a hot pile of compost for months. We can do it in like 2 months. So we do save a lot of time. We have a fast turnover rate. So this is the worm bins. As you can see over there, there's a picture of it. It's a stackable system with trays, and there's holes that come through the bottom. So the worms follow where the food is. You pretty much layer it like lasagna.
Jeez.
And then they follow their food. So when they're done with the first level, they move up to the second level, and then you have pure worm castings at the bottom that you can just take the tray and just put it through the trommel, as Ian was saying, and filter it, and then you can package it. So it's pretty simple. This was from Amazon, so it's just a picture of you can get them, anywhere, but we do use this system, and a lot of other companies do not use this system. So we are in the phase 1 marketing strategy of our company. We have created, I have some lists right here, there's about 400 retailers in New Hampshire and Mass alone. We are trying to stay within New England. And we did a lot of research. We wanted to see what kind of products they had. A lot of them didn't have worm castings, or they had some of our competitors, but a lot of them didn't have, just the worm castings in general. So we would like to capture 5 to 10% of that retail market. And from what we've researched and identified, a majority of them are, owned and operated by families. So we can kind of connect with them through the local channels, and also that we started as a family business as well. And AJ can talk to you a little bit about the social media aspect of our marketing.
Yeah, so right now we're still in the developmental phase of our social media aspect until we get a little bulk of products. But our game plan, and we're developing right now, is an official Everton Organics Facebook account, Twitter account, Instagram, even a YouTube channel, which give us nice, free, easy access to customers and future consumers. Ed can tell you a little more about phase 1.
The reason we're holding back a little bit with the social media is because we're not currently selling our product on our website, because we do have an active website. So we want to control the flow of people going to our website, because if you go to the website and you don't have a product for sale, then it doesn't work out. So this is another part of our phase 1 marketing strategy. We have gotten in contact with Whole Foods. This is actually a screenshot from a message they sent me. It's about $1,800 to get a ad space in their magazine for about, I think it was a half page. But they have 80,000 readers in the southern New Hampshire, northern Mass, and southern Maine. And they claim that 71% of their readers respond to their ads by making purchases. We would like to capture 5% of that, or between 3 and 5%, because we know we're not going to capture the full 71%. So this is our competition. We chose the 2 biggest ones, of Sam's Organics and Arbico Organics. Sam's Organics is out of Wisconsin, and Arbico is out of Arizona. And that's a benefit we have, is because we're in New England. Also, our in-store prices are cheaper than theirs, and we can be ORMI certified, and they would not meet the qualifications for that, and we can actively seek out to get that seal of approval like Whole Foods wanted us to get originally. But online, they do have a lot more traffic than us, so their prices are cheaper because they have deals with UPS and FedEx, and unfortunately I don't have that traffic and can get the cheap rates like FedEx and UPS.
Alright, so we're seeking a $750,000 investment so we can scale up the company to a point where we can sell all over New England and compete. Basically, we're looking for someone who is marketing and financially savvy, that is looking to negotiate a deal of a combination of equity, royalties, and maybe even a structured loan. Everton is going to talk about the structure of the $750,000 investment.
So this is the breakdown of the costs. A lot of the costs is initially for the machinery, and it's a one-time purchase. And the worms, they reproduce exponentially, and they also have a 2-year lifespan, so you don't need to worry about any of that. I believe the total cost of this was $363,000 for the first year, but much of that, as I said, was allocated towards machinery that you need to go full-scale operation to be distributed throughout New England. So this is our monthly sales assumptions and our costs, and as you can see, there's a little bit of difference in the sales. I mean, we do take a loss at first. This is technically our second year because we've been in business for 1 year. But once we scale up our operations and able to get in 100+ stores, then we could be making a significant more amount of money in the third year when it breaks on a quarterly. So the management structure, obviously, I'm the president and I can't do everything on my own. So my partner, he's the vice president, he's also the marketing and sales director. And then we have a board of advisors. All my teammates are on the board of advisors. We have a couple others that weren't able to make it, but so they help me out with the day-to-day operations of the whole company. And thank you, and we welcome your questions.
So on your advisors, do you have somebody who's, I don't know, a technical guru in organic fertilizer or whatever? Or?
That would be mostly me because I came up with the idea. I did all the research.
Right.
You know, I created the formula for our fertilizer and all that.
So you said a lot of companies don't do what the worm casting.
The continuous flow.
Is it just because it's expensive? It's time consuming. Why do they do it?
A lot of companies will just do like a bulk. They'll just have a trommel 100 yards long, just pile all the stuff in there. But it doesn't make a really unified thing. They have to filter a lot more, and they claim it's 99% pure. But I know from just experience, it's almost impossible to get 99% pure.
Do commercial landscapers ever use organic stuff?
It depends on the landscaper and also of the customer, because there are customers that
Ask for it.
right?
Yeah.
Do ask for it. Yeah, that's right.
You mentioned your OMRI, or can be OMRI.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and is that a big deal to, if I was smarter than I am right now, but I think that's a big deal?
It is a very big deal, especially the big retailers such as Whole Foods. They said we can't put this on our shelf without it. It's the Organic Material Institute review, and basically, any store that wants to say it's organic, they want to see that seal.
Your two major competitors are not OMRI?
No, they are not.
Are there many organic fertilizer companies that are OMRI?
There are companies that do claim they're organic, but there are other institutes you can go to get certified, but OMRI is the biggest recognized one.
What allows you to do that is the fact that you're using pasture material, whatever, that's your starting point is organic material?
Organic material, like we actually, that's on the slide. We have cardboard and one of it to aerate it, and that has to be like a food grade cardboard. We use that. You can't use any materials like grass clippings that have been, used pesticides, herbicides, anything like that. And we can prove that through like lab testing of our materials.
So what sort of pricing premium are you going to charge for your product? It sounds like it's a superior product. But
Right. We do have 3 different size bags. We have a 1 pound bag, which we wholesale for $1.99. We recommend the retail for $3.99. And then we have the 5 pound, which we wholesale for $5.49, and we wholesale retail recommended for $10.99. And then we have our 15 pound bag, which we wholesale for $9.99, and we recommend retail for $19.99.
So this is going to sound like a crazy question, but I got involved in a fish farming thing, right? And one of the big risks in the fish farming where all the fish could die. All the worms, is there some kind of genetic worm disease out there that could kill your worms? I know they reproduce fast, but just is there some kind of worm disease like fleas and
I've done a lot of research. I haven't really seen much about it.
They're all over the place, and I get it, but
I've also read
no worms are killed in the process of making them.
That's right. It stays for them.
Right. Okay.
The amount of money you're looking to raise, what sort of volume does that enable you to achieve?
Hundreds of thousands of pounds, and then if you want to pull up the year 3, it's in the backup slides. So year 3, if we had the $750,000 investment, we would be able to generate $1.17 million worth of revenue, because we'd be making hundreds of thousands of pounds. And like I said, the worms do reproduce exponentially. They lay 3 eggs a week, and there's anywhere from 1 to 17 worms in each egg. So, and they eat half, and they also eat half their body weight every day. So you can, as long as you have the material process, you can make as much as you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So what's the constraining factor? Why can't you be the organic worm poop king of the world? Is there a maximum size you can be? Or?
Once you get outside New England, I've talked to UPS and FedEx, and once you get out a certain range, the shipping gets so expensive because all my competitors, they do offer free shipping at the retail price.
How do they do it and you can't? Why do
Because they have more of the volume, and I don't have, and they have deals worked out where they have Amazon warehouse space and all that, but you have to move a lot of product to.
But potentially you could do that.
Yeah, potentially I could. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Is there an alternative way to go national?
The alternative way, or just ship pallets out to.
Or franchise or something like that?
Yeah, we could have different like distribution centers. We were thinking eventually like this would be maybe phase 2 marketing. I know that New York and New Jersey alone they have like 3,500 garden centers and stores that you could sell this kind of product in. And a lot of the worm casting outlets or manufacturers are out west, and it is a big shipping cost for them.
So what kind of education do you have to do to a consumer like me that I'm at Agway and I'm looking at 5 bags of organic stuff, and how do I know that worm castings is going to be so much better than Miracle Grow or anything else organic that I'm looking at? I know Miracle Grow is not
In terms of marketing, or just looking at the packaging?
No, marketing, so that I know that I definitely want a worm castings product.
We
This could be better.
because it's sustainable. It's not made from finite resources like conventional. It doesn't burn your soil or your plants.
So what kind of marketing program do you have to put behind that to educate me?
There's a lot of talk about us using our website as a marketing tool. Like if you scroll over the roots, something will pop up and it'll tell you like the benefits it does for your roots and your plants and how it absorbs nutrients better than conventional fertilizer and how it doesn't wash away like conventional fertilizer into like rivers and
You're still going
ponds.
to get me to the website. You should put a video in Agway or something as I go to pick up the plays, or you know what I mean? Because how do I know?
And we have thought about doing table events, like with the plants, like I showed Whole Foods, just to show people the difference.
When I watched your video, that was impressive. So I was like, whoa.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the key here, fellas, is the differentiation you need to create. It's not all about price points. I mean, I would pay an extra $2.
Yeah,
Premium.
right.
So don't sell yourself short on it, $1.99 wholesale, whatever, because the key is, though, you're going to have to prove to me that is a superior product. And if you can do that through whatever means necessary, then you can charge, a wholesale of $4.99.
Right.
I'm always willing to pay a lot more for something that works. I agree. I think Miracle Grow doesn't work that well.
Mm-hmm.
Forget whether it's organic, well, it's not organic, it's chemicals. So it's the differentiation, I think, that you have to really play on. Like if I'm walking into a Home Depot or Whole Foods, why would I buy yours instead of the other guy?
Thanks.
Right.
I mean, you have to really, that's the key, I think, to your success would be, why does it work? And you have to, obviously, you're going to have to do some more analysis with your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Not only you're better than Miracle Grow, you're better than Sam's Organic or Esposma, I guess how you pronounce it. There's that Esposma, I think, is another brand. That's out there. Vigoro is another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're at Home Depot as well. So you really have to, you got to make that statement.
Mm-hmm.
We are the best, and this is why. And I think to Andrew's point, you have the marketing is going to be key for that because it is somewhat of a commodity.
Right.
I mean, fertilizer's fertilizer. Some people don't really care about it, organic, but on the other hand, a lot of people do.
If you care about organic, you want the best.
You want the best,
You just gotta
right.
convince people you've got the
You're
best.
already there.
And you,
Right.
you think you do have the best.
If you have the cheapest, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
people don't buy it because it's cheap. I think what you're telling me, you could command a premium because you said there was a proprietary formula. Now that you guys gone through maybe patenting the formula.
Mm-hmm.
So that's key. I mean, that gives you a lot of value.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
do cut
if
down.
you really,
secret
you
sauce.
really believe that the process is patentable?
Yeah, because we do save a lot of time, and the way he was talking about the grist mill, there's a couple other steps we do, but that is proprietary. I haven't heard of any other company doing it. I've done a bunch of Google searches trying to figure out if someone's ever done something like this, and
Being unique does not make you patentable. I mean, if you've got to talk to somebody who does this sort of stuff to tell you, his process patents are kind of different.
yeah.
See, my thing would be, does it work?
Does it work?
No, you're going to have to prove to me. I'm just saying, as a
Oh, yeah.
marketing
Yeah,
play,
right.
that's fine. Price points may be correct, but does it work?
Mm-hmm.
If you really get big, will you get enough raw material? I mean, you mentioned there were 2 fields in Vermont and one in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Is that enough to make you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds a year?
Yeah, my father actually has a friend who has like 1,500 acres up near Canada, and I've actually talked to him a little bit about.
And he'll give you the stuff for free, and
We'd probably have to work out something. He's not going to give it for free.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your design for the machinery. Is that,
Well, basically right now it's kind of a hand process. So
we've looked into like buying motors, and we're kind of trying to rig something up. Something me and Evan are going to be working on this summer is getting this automated. So it's kind of tedious and slow to be cranking this grist mill by hand for an hour to get however much product. So if we can get a big funnel and a motor to power that, which is something that we definitely are capable of doing, it would be definitely beneficial for us.
This thing you've got is about 5 feet tall or something like that?
The grist mill?
Yeah.
The grist mill, we have like hand crank ones right now. We don't have like the giant.
Well,
Oh, no, you mean
the
worm
worm
bins.
worm.
Oh, the worm
bins,
bins?
yeah.
They stackable. They can be as tall as me.
How much fertilizer comes out every day? Or
Half their body weight. So if you have like 2 pounds of worms in the bin, it'll be 1 pound. And each bin can have up to 10 pounds of worms in it. So each bin can make maybe 5 pounds a day.
Now, do you guys have on the back of fertilizer, it's the NPKs, right? Do you have all that?
All
back of
the
it?
nutrients.
Like, nutrients and all, everything that, like if I'm growing tomatoes, would that work?
Yeah, no.
Sometimes there's just, you have a
it
special
has-
formula for tomatoes
Right,
versus peppers,
right.
right?
Mhm. It has the we don't have it on the back
NPK,
right now,
it's
but
potassium, right?
what's that?
Well, the
Nitrogen.
NPK,
Potash and
Right.
yeah, potash, yeah,
Yeah.
nitrogen or whatever, that's in the soil.
it's all in there. But my graphic designer hasn't put it on the back of there because he's the main guy that helped me design the packaging. But when we contacted OMRI and we tried to use UNH's lab tests, they said that's not good enough. You have to use one of our pre-certified labs. So we are currently, I'm saving to have the lab testing done because UNH was $17 and their certified one's like almost $1,000. So
Yeah.
so there are some challenges, especially when I'm funding it with just me and my partner.
To pick on his question, does the actual mixture, the PKN,
NPK.
is that something that is adjustable based on what you're feeding the worms, or is it always going to come out the same?
It comes out generally the same from what we've, like the formula, what I've been feeding them.
That's good for any sort of gardening?
Yeah, it's general purpose. You can actually add this if you really wanted to. You can add it with conventional fertilizer and even boost it that much more because there's a limit of how much conventional fertilizer you can give until you kill the plant. But there's another benefit about that. You can build up the soil a lot
or?
quicker.
When you make stuff, can you be making it all winter long, ready to hit the market?
Right.
So it
That's-
doesn't go bad after you make it.
Right. As long as you keep it moist, you can't. When it dries out, it's no good.
You seal the bags and it's moist.
We have seal bags, and these bags don't have it, but we are ordering bags that have one-way valves, so you can squeeze out any air in there. So it kind of vacuum seals itself essentially.
Okay. How much does that add to your packaging cost?
10 cents
Oh, okay.
per bag.
What do you think distribution is going to cost you? Have you thought about that?
I've thought about distribution. Probably be, we have figured in for a truck. I have my own personal truck, so I'll probably just distribute with that. When I talked to Whole Foods, they just said you can deliver it yourself, but you just need an insurance policy and proof of insurance. Maybe if we checked in on like a weekly or bi-weekly schedule and restock the shelves or however they wanted it structured, selling in their stores.
You said you found 400 retailers.
Yep.
I think you could do business with about a third of them. All over New England?
No, that was just in New Hampshire and Mass, but there's a lot in Maine and Vermont and Connecticut as well.
Does Whole Foods actually sell fertilizer right now?
They sell like the basic potting soil. They said they would love to have it because they do have like a little section where they have indoor plants year round. They said they'd love to put it on their shelves just so it would be like more of an impulse buy when they go up and grab it with their plant. Because when you're spending $20 on a plant, like a few extra dollars to know that your plant's going to be, nourished for however long you have it, then that's why they would love to have it. And then like I said, they want the OMRI seal, and that would make us stick out compared to our competitors.
Could I do the same by just go getting some earthworms and adding them to my garden?
Yeah, you could. But it is a tricky process. It has taken me 2 years. You can lose worms very easily if it's not a controlled environment. A big reason why we missed the whole foods deadline this season was because the harsh winter and
Oh, okay.
our facility had poor insulation, so we lost a good portion of our worm population.
Back to my question.
Unfortunately.
They gotta be warm.
Yeah, they got to be
Okay.
around 55 degrees to
Okay.
survive and
Right.
thrive.
Right,
Very good.
okay.
Great, thank you.
Great.
Wow.